So that takes us on to finance matters. Do you want to take us through those as well?
Yeah, basically the statutory payments, which are the payments that we don't have a huge amount of control over on a monthly basis, and which we agreed on the 5th of April to make as statutory payments, which include water to business, which is the toilet block water supply, staff salaries, village contract, the play inspection, and Nichols facilities management. All of those are things that we don't really have much control over on a monthly basis. So that's the first thing we need to get, is a resolution to approve those.
I would propose that we accept the statutory payments as detailed.
Is that the wish of everybody?
All those in favour, please show. Any at all?
And then the variable payments, we have the payment from Paul Martin. Paul has obviously been working on our behalf for a while. And the 5744 amount is what he quoted to us last autumn for doing the work that he's done to get us to where we are now in terms of planning, tendering, specification, work and so on and so forth. So 5744 is Paul Martin. The Aquaglass toilet block repair, that was done about 4 weeks ago. Richard Young's our internal auditor, £25. Pay to payroll, this is a set-up fee for our new payroll service, and is a standard fee. The other thing that's not on your agenda is an upfront payment to Charles Fleming for the legal fees. Charles has now started some work on the shop, and he requires some upfront payment because some of them are statutory payments that they have to pay for before they go any further to register. So I've added that to it because he came on to me today and asked me if we could approve it at this meeting, and I said I would add it. So variable payments, so £500. Otherwise his fees are as per before.
So, Melina.
Can we just be told what those payments are for? That?
Well, they're for registration of the planning, of the legal work that he needs to do on a lease. So there's a number of things he has to do to set up the process, and obviously solicitors normally charge. If you go for conveyancing, for example, they normally ask for a fee for the searches and various other things up front, because otherwise it comes out of their coffers. So that's what Charles is asking for from us, so that they're not actually out of pocket as a solicitor in the early stages. That's all it is really, nothing more than that. So you can get on and start work on it basically.
Is there a proposal that we pay those?
Proposal? Yeah.
Second it.
Thank you. All those in support that we pay those £5, please show. That's unanimous.
Right.
Okay, so that brings us then on to matters of decision by the council. So the future of the Friendship Coffee Hub.
Well, that's what I've called it. Somebody else might call it something different, but to give it a title, that's what I've called it. Yeah, there is a feeling that people and volunteers particularly would like to reintroduce something. I don't know whether, Adi, I know you were involved in the warm space thing, but what is your view on that? I mean, you've got to get more volunteers. This is a problem because the shop, are obviously utilising.
It's hard because East Brent's just at the road and they have one every Friday, whatever. Yeah. So I think we would be wasting our time, to do it. Yeah. I think myself, because the amount of people we had come down to the other meetings we had, max probably 3 people, that was it, and it was like seven volunteers and 3 people turned up. Yeah. And next week it was like none and 4 volunteers. So if you ask me, I don't think it's going to be viable in the village to go over with it.
I mean, ultimately, there's nothing stopping at a later stage a village group approaching the parish council for one of our grants if they've got something to set up. But I don't think it's necessary for us to be leading.
No, we as you know, we had this £1,000 grant from the community council. Now, of course, the person who's administering the grants has come back to me a couple of times asking me to identify how much of the grant was used and so on and so forth. I said to him, look, we are looking at an alternative. However, I have to point out that if we don't get an alternative, we will need to repay some of that grant back, because they're not, you know, quite reasonably, it's not an open-ended grant to use in any way you want to. It's actually specifically aimed at this particular project. But that situation hasn't arisen yet, because we've got a couple of months yet to come up with that particular reply. But, you know, something we can perhaps look at again.
Eddie?
Could you find out then if we can use it for like a, what can I say, old age pensions, cake and tea afternoon in the hall, say? You know, I wasn't hinting, Colin, but like every 3 months sort of thing, have a...
And I think in a way, my own feeling would be that there would be no harm in someone, I mean, if we find out whether the money could be made available,
Yes.
but it's up to somebody else to
Yes.
organise it now and approach us and say, well, we'd like you to help us financially.
Yeah.
I don't think we can be trying to drive it at this stage.
And we've got lots of volunteers. I mean,
Yeah.
there are volunteers, but it's just
Okay,
motivating and getting them going, so to speak.
right.
Yeah.
Item B is the play equipment one, which at the last meeting we talked about liaising with the school. Would like, if members are willing, to give us permission to go and actually speak to the school to say, when we had the annual parish meeting, I did have a chat with the head just to say, would he be up for doing that? And he said he certainly would be in getting kids involved. So it would be, as we talked last time about sounding them out as to what it is they enjoy up there at the moment and what they'd like to see, rather than like we did with the witch's hat thing that's up there at the moment. So are you happy that we proceed on that basis and actually get a response back from the school and the kids?
Yeah,
Colin?
yeah, sorry, I should have asked, beg your pardon, because in our budget we've got some money set aside for play equipment. We've got a promise of £3,000 from Clark's. We've got a promise, or we've got money from Nuttall Trust of £3,000. We've got Tony Hill a donation of £1,000. I would like to see a little bit more, if you like, activity that's moving us forward to doing something. I mean, I thought we were going to replace the roundabout, but can we not refurbish it and spend some money on something else? I don't know if it's possible.
And I think that was what the last meeting was looking at, was getting that feedback as to what are the bits of kit that people want. Because if we whipped out the roundabout, but that's the bit the kids actually love, it would be a bit of a shame. So, Melina.
Isn't one of those grants specifically to purchase an accessible roundabout?
Yeah, the trust fund grant, which is the one that we got last autumn, is specifically, at the moment as it stands, is specifically for a piece of disabled play equipment.
Yeah.
However, I'm actually meeting somebody in a few weeks' time who I may be able to, from Clark's, and I may be able to get them to open it up to a wider spread of funding. So
it would be narrower, not disabled access.
Exactly, it would be basically saying to them, could we use it for some other purpose on the play area, but not necessarily a disabled road, no, not disabled access. They may or may not do, and I'll certainly try to open the grant up a bit. But if not, then of course we will have to either do the disabled roundabout or not take the grant. We haven't got the funds, remember. We've got a promise of them. We haven't actually got the funds.
I was actually 3/4 of the way through applying for funding from Viridor, but I just needed a document.
The ownership stuff, yes. I think no one's saying at this stage it won't be a piece of kit that's disabled accessible. All we're saying is we want to find out from the people in the village as to what it is they actually perceive as the need. Okay, so if members are happy, we'll make sure we get something back for the next time on that.
Sure. Okay.
Parish surgery dates.
Dates, well, I'd say those out to everybody. If you haven't had them, or you've lost them, or you haven't, not sure where you put them, I'll resend them. If that's
can we go with the resending?
Resending?
Yeah.
Parish surgery dates?
Yeah.
Okay. And also the dates for the meetings?
Yeah.
So we'll do a resend on those. Make sure you've got them. And the green rota inspection template. again, if you'd like those resent.
Please could,
Can I request not to have a winter month because wet grass and wheels aren't really that
Okay.
compatible.
I'll have a look at it, and if you're, when you say
Thank
winter
you.
months, you see...
Well, I have February.
Sort of October to March, that sort of thing.
Sorry?
So avoid October to March.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. No problem. So, the water feature.
yeah.
So that came from John Page last time, didn't it?
Yeah.
John Harper said, could I feedback that he's got some money available still in the St Michael Music and Arts account, and he would get access that money to go towards the tap thing.
Okay. So we just need to work out the project team to actually what needs to be done and what. So is that something that we feel is there would be volunteers on here that would want to get involved with that?
Oh yeah, I was going to say, I would have thought we could all do it together, because it's not a massive job, is it?
Where is it?
Basically what it is it's part of the water network that was done for getting fresh water to the village back in the day from the reservoir, from the old reservoir up behind the manor. It's outside John Harper's house, but it's in a state of disrepair, and the pointing is all going, and it's in danger of collapsing. So the only one left in the village. Yeah. So
Does it actually work?
No. We had a presentation from John Page at the last meeting.
And put a tap, because David sourced a tap, didn't you? Like a
John dug it up.
brass tap, so it probably came off there in the first place.
So in
we're
this,
good at that one, and then
who wants to lead on that as a project? Because I think we have to have someone who's
well,
responsible.
I don't mind.
Okay, so are the council happy that we volunteer Amanda to coordinate, and you will then liaise with members? Okay.
Yeah.
So all those in favour of Amanda? Terrific. The new bin for Hill Lane.
Sure, that came.
That
That
was-
was in April, wasn't
Yeah, that was, we need to be chasing up what was Sedgemoor for them to be installing it, and also the sign.
it? Yes.
AD.
Yeah.
The sign's in the back of the van,
Yes.
but where do you want it?
Pop it up tonight, do you?
Hey?
So I mean, it would make sense, I would have thought, to get the sign and the bin at similar sort of time. So we'll chase clean surroundings
I'll
to
claim
get
it
a date
up.
for that to be installed,
I'll pick it up.
and then we'll liaise.
But I have got it.
Excellent. Station Road and Ham Road overgrown bushes. Is this Amy?
Yeah, that's me.
Amy.
Yeah. Obviously, when you're driving up, obviously the speed is, but when you're driving up there, people are going out an extra foot now, because obviously all the brambles and God knows what is overhanging, so they're going out a bit wider, and cars are coming in now and they're braking hard and stuff like that. You can sit in the garden and just hear them coming up to the bridge and braking. It needs cutting, but obviously we can't go and do it because it belongs to the railway, as railway highways.
So we're talking about the approaches on both sides of the road?
Yeah, the approaches on both sides.
Okay.
Yeah, and also obviously, it needs cutting back ASAP, because obviously it's growing and growing and growing. So we was going to do it, me and David, but we thought we better not, because obviously the law can get told off for it.
So do we want to approach highways to see if they would give us permission to be able to do
If
it?
we can get permission, then we can go and do it.
Because we've got cones and stuff, haven't we?
Yeah.
I've always historically done it with a tractor.
Yeah, but the tractor can't do it to the wire.
A quiet time, but
Okay.
I don't trust it.
Approach highways and ask them if they can
Members are happy we do that?
get somebody to do it.
Okay. And then we've got the pizzas, have a slice.
Yeah, decision going forward.
Any-
We'll try at the moment.
One massive complaint tonight. Someone ordered a pizza earlier on, and they turned around and said to her, we haven't got no Teflon. And I had to think and say, it's Teflon. And I looked up on the internet, of course it's stuff you put in an oven so that it sticks to it, innit? And they had to go all the way back to the shop to go get some Teflon. And she phoned him up and obviously had a rare about him about it. But George said he's so busy. But like I said to George, I said, before you come out, make sure you're prepared and stuff like that. But that's the only complaint. But food-wise, it's lovely.
Seems quite busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has anyone actually had any complaints? I mean, I've had feedback that's been positive. I haven't had any complaints, but I mean, our members happy that we allow it to roll on for another
Yeah.
period. We will obviously, as and when things move forward, we will need to see how we accommodate stuff, but are you happy that we maybe do it on a, what would it be, like a, do we want to do like an 8-week rolling programme that, as long as he's happy and we're happy?
Yeah.
Well, it seems to be a facility the village are using.
So, yeah, I think good feeds and good feedback from it.
Okay, so if you're happy that we let him know that we're happy for it to continue, and excellent. Matters of report. If I'll kick off to start with, because we had a very full agenda, we didn't know whether we'd have time necessary to do the normal sort of report, so I will keep this short anyway. But I was on the village green. It was was my month. Owen's given us the new sheets, so once you've got this sent through to you again, it is quite simple to fill in. Generally, as far as I was concerned, it was pretty good this month. It's been mowed during the time, but it's grown again, obviously. Litter has been actually pretty good, not a lot up there. There are cracks appearing in some of the safer surfaces, and they're not dangerous as yet, but they are certainly something we're going to have to look at in the future. Would like to suggest a couple of things that need action. One is there is a piece of equipment as part of the trim trail which has a board and a chain that the kids are supposed to walk on. The chain has sagged to the point where you can't walk on it because you walk on the board, so we need to just get a couple of links taken out of the chain to shorten it. And the picnic benches, the 2 wooden ones that are over that side of the green, are really bad. They are now moving in the ground where they've rotted. The surface of a couple of them have rotted away as well, so we do need to be putting on our list to actually replace those, because they are now not in a good state of repair. Other than that, I'll pass the thing to Owen. Who's next up, do we know?
Me.
Pots.
I think it's me.
Okay.
Is it Jane?
That's you,
Yes.
Jane.
Is it
You
me?
did May.
Yeah.
On this, it's green inspection. Jane.
Yes, me.
June.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You okay, Jane?
Yeah.
If I send you the template?
Yeah, that's fine.
And ideally, if you can do it about once a week,
Yeah, I do.
so we've got the 4 things which Owen will then keep as a record.
Jane, if there's anything really sort of kind of glaringly serious,
I will contact.
just contact me and like a deep hole has appeared or something in there.
The other thing, just very briefly, toilets, as per normal, not wonderful. The drainage is, although it's been cleared, the ladies' second loo is still running very slowly, so there is a problem there. And also, just I'd like to thank Kim for sorting out the telephone box. It was pretty manky in there, so we took out all the old stuff. And Kim braved the spiders, so thank you ever so much for sorting that. But that's now got some information there, and we'll keep going. So, Colin, anything from you?
Yeah, a couple of things. First of all, are we putting a beacon on the knoll? Are we doing it on
Friday.
Friday?
Yeah.
What time?
No.
Oh, okay, thank you. And
You haven't read your Brent Knoll news yet.
You haven't? I'm serious, the law.
Carry on.
The other thing, it's very serious. We had an instance, and I do feel as if I've got to bring this up, of someone who recorded a meeting without the people who were present at the meeting, without their permission, and without even asking their permission. Recording of meetings without permission from the members of that meeting is a breach of the GDPR regulations and is a reportable matter. And you, Owen, do your best to ensure that we work within the GDPR. And I would just say that it's frowned upon that someone should record our meeting and not tell us. It's underhand.
I think that it has been dealt with, and the recording has been deleted. So I think we're all more aware of what we should and shouldn't be doing now.
Thank you.
No. David?
No, nothing from John, actually.
Just to add to that, I was at that meeting. I very clearly heard that the meeting is going to be recorded. It was recorded for a purpose, to relay information to our ex-councillor.
Yeah, that's I don't want to get into the ins and outs. personally didn't hear that it was being recorded, but we've moved on, it's been dealt with, and the person has sorted it out by deleting it, so I think that's a line. Melina?
Nothing.
Yeah, someone said about fishing, he's speaking to some fish and chip fans, something like that. And also, I've been around a couple of playgrounds around the area, and there's a couple of people moaning about their kids running around in the whole play area. Most of their play equipment is fenced off. You know, it's something that we've got to consider because there's a hell of a lot of kids using it now, and babies, and obviously where the mothers are chatting or having a glass of wine, because some of them do, and the kids are running around. But if they was actually locked in their pet, you know, what do you say? Locked into the play area. Locked into the play area, it's a safe environment for the children, and it will be good, obviously, for us, because we are looking after the welfare of our parish and teachers.
I think that would take up too much of the green.
No, it wouldn't.
Hold on, Amy. What I will say is, because this is under reports, we
Yeah.
can't make a decision on it tonight. We will stick it on the agenda
Yes,
for
I'm
the
saying,
next
yeah.
meeting,
Next meeting.
and then we'll have that debate then.
And it will be discussed. So that's
Yes.
the June agenda.
Thank you. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Owen, anything from you?
Nothing from me, no.
Okay, in which case, can I thank you all very much for your attendance tonight, and we'll close the meeting at 9:25.
What's the pen for?
I don't know,
Lock them up with a pen.
Pen.